to Beyond the Keyboard, where we amplify voices in tech and beyond, and I'm your lovely host, Princess Star. This is the space for real-life conversations about tech, work, and everything in between. Here, it's not just about coding or gadgets. It's about the stories, the laughs, the struggles, and the wins that shape our journeys in and outside of tech. In every episode, we bring you honest conversations with people who have been there, have done that, and are still figuring it out, just like you and me. So expect a mix of fun, learning, and oh, I felt that too moments. Today's episode is very special because we'll be talking about a trend that's shifting the way we work, the gig economy, and how mentorship can open up doors for women in the digital spaces. Welcome to Beyond the Keyboard. So let's start with a quick introduction. Can you tell us your name, what you do, and a fun fact about you?
Thank you. Interesting name, by the way, Beyond the Keyboard. Yes. I think it's very relevant that in tech, we should think beyond the keyboard all the time. So my name is Jennifer. I work with tech startups and other kinds of businesses, helping them build and scale and optimizing for growth. I do that as a consultant currently for businesses across Africa. Fun fact, right?
Yeah, fun facts.
Just one.
You can tell us as many as you want.
Maybe two. I love water. I'm obsessed with water, all forms of water. I love to engage my senses, sometimes just staring at water or just touching water. And that's like good enough for me. Or listening to the sound of water or the waves. It's amazing. Okay, another one. Trees. I would probably sit under a tree and just stare at it. Wow. Then go to a club or a loud party. If it's for work, that one I can do, but not with my own free will. Yeah.
That's very unique. I have never heard anyone say they are fascinated with water.
Really?
Yes.
I feel like I've met a couple of people like that.
Really?
Yeah, and trees too. I have a friend, the last time I was seeing these trees was it Cotonou? And they were just majestic. I was looking at these trees and I had to text her. I was like, hi. Oh, do I say her name? Hi, Sheila. I just saw some trees in Cotonou and they reminded me of you. And it was nice.
Wow. Interesting. Okay, so welcome once again to Beyond the Keyboards. So in this space, we amplify voices in tech and beyond. And we are really glad to have you here. So let's dive in now. How did you get into the gig economy?
Well, about a decade ago, I was a curious, younger version of myself. Yeah. Still curious. I always have about 100 questions in my head. And I was told about the launch of a business. I didn't know so much about Uber then. Okay. Probably heard the name in passing, but we didn't have Uber in Ghana or anything like that, so I wasn't familiar. Mm-hmm. And I reached out because that was when Uber was being launched in Ghana and they needed a couple of people on the team. So I reached out when we had a chat. Long story short, I joined the team to help just onboard drivers, get them on the road. It was so fun. I was learning so much and doing things. And I thought, I've always been very intrigued about problem solving. And that just put me in a space that I enjoyed. Every day I had to ask a new question and find a way to solve that particular problem. And I think growing up and being in school, even in uni, I had always been slightly worried at the back of my mind that I don't think I would function very well in some traditional spaces. Okay. So it felt like certain questions were being answered for me, just doing some work within the tech space. And that was it. I wanted to engage more. Came back after, was it a year or two? Did more Uber work, and it's the rest is history.
I love that.
Yeah.
So, what drew you to the gig work mentorship program?
Well, so I think this year I decided that I wanted to speak more because I realized that I wasn't talking more, I wasn't sharing my thoughts as much as I should. And around the time where I saw Regina post it, and I thought, oh, this is interesting. I wonder if there's a way to contribute to this. And then I reached out. I texted her, and then she just said, "Oh, I was going to text you when I saw." And then we just spoke about it, and that was it. But it was interesting to me, and I was also feeling a sense that it was a necessary thing because all throughout my work, I've seen how very few women, for example, driving, and then even when they are making that decision to drive for a rideshare company, you're meeting them and they have such unique challenges, right? And you also know that there's so many women out there who are probably thinking, oh, do women do this particular kind of job? Like, in my opinion, you don't need to ask. Are you interested? Would you want to do this kind of job? Can you deliver? And that's where it ends for me. And interestingly, a lot of women ask themselves, and I've seen people have to convince their family members to allow them do something within the gig economy because they're asking them, do women do it? And then when they drive unique challenges, they come and somebody is rating them 1 star because the person hit on them and they said no, right? Or they are going out to drive and they have to try and put in all of these measures to make sure they are safe. It's quite interesting. So it felt very relevant. It felt like it was something that I had seen and I was just excited to contribute to it.
So, what were your expectations when you joined the mentorship program, and were your expectations met, or were you surprised?
Okay, so I would say that my expectations were exceeded. I wasn't entirely sure of what the program was going to look like. And initially, I was a little concerned about the weight of the program. Is that something I could manage at the time? Because I was working and I actually have been burnt out for a while, and there was just, so I was a little concerned about the weight. But then the more we spoke about the program, I realized, okay, this is something that I should be able to lift. And I was very happy with how it was curated and how we were engaged. It was very effective for me. I had an amazing time. The women were all so dedicated, and it was just beautiful. Yeah, it was beautiful. Yeah, seeing the community, seeing everybody want to contribute, they're juggling work, some of them childcare, but they're doing well to show up every single time, and they even go beyond to try and support other people and make sure they help them through. It was good. Yeah, I loved it.
You loved it.
Yeah.
So, do you have a favorite moment from the mentorship that you'd like to share with us?
Whew, favorite moment. This one. Let me see. Maybe it'll be a few.
Okay.
I think the orientation day was very fun for me. I think everybody was bonding really well, and they even asked for more. Why don't we have more in person, right? So that sort of struck me, and I think at the end of the program, when we were doing graduation, everybody was happy. Everybody was happy and they were looking forward to, okay, what's next? How can we do more? Like, what do we do from here? Can I extend this knowledge to other people? It was really amazing just looking at them think beyond themselves, think about their communities, and like see how the knowledge they have acquired, they could also extend that.
Oh, I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. So now I know you have been in the gig economy for some time now. Can you share with us some of the challenges you faced when you were starting out and how you overcame those challenges?
So I think that considering that a lot of my work has been in building the ecosystem compared to other women in the space, so my challenges would be a little different. Essentially, I was excited to do things. Um, I don't think I faced any particular challenges. Um, but then I will touch on the experiences of women in the gig economy a bit. I think one of the biggest challenges would be figuring out how to start, right? And being able to see people who look like them doing the same thing. Because, like I've said, some have to actually go to convince their family members to allow them do these things. And it's a bit upset to me, but that could just be me, right? So these are the things from the beginning. And even when they start, there are issues of security depending on what kind of gig work they're doing. There are instances where if women are working online, well, this one is a general one, but the flow of income, you know, it's not as stable as other forms of employment. So they could have a month where they'll probably receive a lot of money because they had a lot of clients, and they would also have periods where things would slow down. And it all depends on how you're able to balance and make sure that you're being intentional about everything you do. So I think those are some of the challenges. Yeah.
Okay, so we all know that the trend of work is shifting now. Now, the young people are not interested in the traditional 9 to 5. People want to sit at home and work from their screens. So, for someone starting out, what are some practical steps you can give to this person?
Okay. I think I would say be curious. Allow yourself to be curious as much as possible. For example, you can Google for someone starting, right? What do I do? Or what are the steps? You can find information everywhere, and all of these questions are answered. So allow yourself to be curious. The next thing is there are a lot of platforms that support gig work. Find some of the credible ones, say Fiverr, Upwork, and all of those. If you want to do rideshare or delivery too, there are a couple in the local markets. You can look them up, and then if you go even on their websites, they always have how to, and all of that. And always, like, never be worried or scared about reaching out to support. If you are stuck or you're confused, just reach out to support. There are usually channels on these apps to allow you to get help. Go on YouTube, go on. Sometimes even TikTok has some information. The issue is you have to be very careful about what you believe in online. But there's a lot of information out there. You can reach out to me personally on LinkedIn if you want to ask me questions. You can actually also reach out to Soronko if you're a woman, only women. You can reach out to Soronko and say, oh, I want to start this and I'm feeling confused. Is there any mentor available to support, or can I chat with any of the mentors? And if any of us is available, they would have a chat with you. But above everything else, be curious and don't be scared to ask questions or reach out anywhere for support. And I would also say try to plan and prepare, right? I think in life, I don't know if I should say in life, startup stuff is just, yeah. So let's say in building a business, right? Because we're going to say doing work in the gig economy. I like to look at it as you are a business, you're providing services, and people are getting what they need, right? So you have to try to have some kind of plan, and then you can try to anticipate some challenges that you will face as well, and then have some kind of solutions in mind. And as you know, depending on what kind of gig work you're doing, it's very likely that you won't have a constant flow of income, right? So look for tools that would support you with everything that you're doing. If it's about payments, there are tools to do that for you. Just try to plan, be prepared, be intentional about how you're moving, and then just think through the problems. And yeah, you'll be good.
Yeah, I really love the part about planning because there's this popular quote that goes like, if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. So
Yeah.
it's very important that you plan ahead of time and then you figure out strategies that you can put in place in case you face some challenges along the way. So
Absolutely.
I really like that. So yes.
Yeah. And I would also want to add that in business, I always advise that there are things that would come that you did not anticipate, right? There are things that would come that you were not expecting, right? So the ones you know about, think a bit about them, right? You have so much time and so many problems to deal with. So think about the ones that you have an idea or you can anticipate, and then when the other ones come, you can have room to deal with them.
Okay, so now let's zoom out a little bit. How has the mentorship changed your journey, or how has it impacted your journey?
So I would say that I learned a few things about myself. I mentioned earlier on that I had been intending to speak more, and just, share what I've learned over the years. And this sort of gave me more perspective to that. I've been thinking about how can I get this information up north, for example. And the reason is that there are lots of initiatives that happen, but it always sits in the south, right? Usually Accra. And I think it's necessary to take some of that to the north. I'm from the north, by the way.
Wow,
Yeah. So I have thought about this for years, and I've been trying to figure out, okay, maybe it would be a nice thing to do. And now I am really enjoying sharing knowledge and information. And I think this was one of the things that kickstarted that for me this year. And I met a lot of incredible women, and I would say that that adds to my life as well. And there's a lot of satisfaction seeing my mentees post online about the things they're doing. I remember one of my mentees reaching out, I think just before we ended. She was like, "Oh, I got a client reached out to me on Upwork, that they need my service, and I'm going to have a chat." And I was like, "Yeah, let's go." Let's go. Right. Aside the social media campaign we did, there are a few other things that projects that I'm supposed to do with my mentees that will gradually be coming out. But I would say that it's been very impactful, and I'm just happy with how much everybody is ready to do things. Yeah.
I really love that. So would you like to share a key lesson you learned from MNT because you were a mentor in the program? Is there any key lesson you took from MNT?
So there's a thoughts blocking blocking me from thinking more, but this is something that has been on my mind, or something that sort of struck me. A mentee once said, I think when we were talking about payments and negotiations, said no to something else. We're just chatting about it, and she says, "No, for me, I like to manage my expectations so that I don't get disappointed." And it shook me in more than one way. Just because you look at the statistics and you know that women don't ask to be paid what they deserve a lot of the time. And from the way I received it, it sounded like that was top of the list, right? I think the value you bring should rather be top of the list.
Yes.
Right? Instead of worrying about being disappointed if you don't get what you expect. It saddens me a little, but it also told me that programs like this are very important. And just based on the activities we had, having people just research, you're not a bad person for asking for X amount. Like, just look online, right? You see that people are actually charging for that amount. Okay, why are you charging for an amount that only takes you to the office? Like, do you eat when you go home? How do you, take care of other little things? And I think the conversations around that, it makes me quite sober anytime I think about it. But I think it added some perspective to the data we see online about how much women hold themselves back. For example, if they want to apply for a job, they have to meet 100% of the criteria or more before they would apply, right? Other people would just see and be like, 60%. That I'm the person for the job.
Yes.
You get it. So it reinforced the idea that programs like this are very, very important. Yeah.
So, what would you tell a woman that's feeling that way right now?
They should try to talk more. They should speak to people about money. Money should not be a taboo. Speak to people about money. Try to research. If you're not sure what to ask, you can just ask somebody who has the experience or look online. You can be flexible in your expectations without beating it too down in ways that are not even realistic for you.
Okay, thank you so much. So, what's next for you? What's next for you?
Yeah, what's next for me? I'm just really having fun consulting for businesses, doing mentoring and workshops for young people. And one other thing that I will be able to share more maybe next year is that over the years, I've learned that when we say people are different, it does not mean your head shape is different from another person, right? There's something beyond people being different that doesn't say anything about our bodies or how we look and all of those things, but how your body functions, how your brain functions. I have realized that the gig economy, for example, or let's say flexible hiring or freelancing, is probably the only thing that works for a certain kind of people. I would say spicy brains or special brains.
Yeah.
And I am working on a model that would potentially work for some people. I think let's say invisible disabilities, right?
Okay.
And I will be able to share more next year. But definitely the idea of the gig economy and its flexibility, it's all baked into that. Providing value whilst being able to take care of yourself and making sure that things are working for you and working for your health. So, yeah, you will hear more.
Yeah, so we just need to connect with you.
Oh, yes,
and then
yes.
we can follow your journey, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so before we wrap up, let's just do a quick fire round.
Okay.
One word to describe your mentorship experience.
It was fulfilling.
Your go-to productivity app or tool.
Okay, did you say app or two?
Yes.
Thank you very much. That would be a difficult question to answer if you said just one. Let me say Google Docs, right? I would say Google Docs because I still remember how fascinated I was with the fact that two people can collaborate on a document at the same time. And then, I can just leave comments and then they come see it. Oh, I was mind blown. I loved it so much. I still think about it.
Okay.
So I would say Google Docs. What other tool? Right now, I think Apple Health.
Okay.
Well, things that have data fascinate me because I don't like to make a move or make decisions without thinking intentionally about it. And I just like that certain apps just, they just take the data and you open and there's a graph or something. The numbers are there. You can move forward with that. So, I love it.
Okay. So tea, coffee, or smoothie while working gigs?
Whew. I love tea.
All right.
Smoothies sometimes. Yeah, but yeah, let's go with tea.
Let's go with tea. Complete this sentence. Beyond the keyboard, I am.
Beyond the keyboard, I think I would say intentional. No, intentional. I'm still intentional in front of the keyboard. I would say creative.
Yeah, creative.
Yeah, I'm creative in my work, but I'm also a creative, like designer stuff.
Okay.
Just, vibing.
Okay. So where can people connect with you online?
LinkedIn,
LinkedIn.
Instagram. Yeah.
Can you tell us where on LinkedIn? What's your name on LinkedIn?
Jennifer Barina. You would have to check what they post because some people claim it's a bit botanical. Yeah, you might not be able to
So
spell it.
what's LinkedIn and Instagram?
Yeah, LinkedIn and Instagram. I'm barely on Facebook.
Okay.
The account is there. Maybe soon you'll get TikTok content.
Hey, can't wait.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you so much for joining us on Beyond the Keyboard podcast. Any last words? Do you want to give a shout out to any particular person?
Well, thank you for having me. Well, I'll say a shout out to women in tech. If you're questioning yourself or you're just, you're trying to figure it out, just keep moving and don't be intimidated and try to find other women. Having community is very, very important. If you're thinking about the gig economy, please don't hold yourself back. Be curious, reach out to people, and I guess just do it. Yeah, that's about it.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.